Hello everybody, this is Goofs Fox coming at you with two matches here in the Heavy Gundam in Grid 0. These are both going to be 600 cost rated matches here. This first one is going to be in space, and the second one is going to be a ground match. And I really wanted to start out with this space match here for reasons I'll get into later into the video. But yeah, finally getting around to covering this suit. It's been really probably a bit more than a week now since this came out. And the time I'm posting this, we're still going to be in the week of the Roswell Jagan from UC Engage, which it's pretty cool to see another UC Engage suit join GBO2 here, even though I have heard that the Roswell Jagan is lacking in terms of really just the kind of suit it is. Apparently it's more of a buddy suit, but without having it myself, I really can't say too much about it. But focusing on the Heavy Gundam in Grid 0 here, this suit is a 600 cost raid, and when I started playing it, I really just kind of felt like a difficult suit to use. Really not even difficult, like, I don't know, it's hard to really explain when I started playing it. I really struggled to just try to get any really good matches with this suit. Until this space match that I was able to get here. This is probably the first breakthrough I really had in getting a really good match for this suit here. And one of the positives I'll already say about this version of the Heavy Gundam is that it definitely feels like it shines in space. You already do have extra benefits from using this suit in space, and just here, it feels like it's really meant for this kind of environment here. But as you'll see in the next ground match I have as well, it worked out fairly well there. It worked out fairly well there. So I think I just needed to get used to it a bit, and yeah, I'm definitely a lot happier with this suit than when I started. And yeah, I'll just do a basic rundown of really just kind of what you have here. For your primary, you do have a Gatling gun, and hey, there's the counter animation. But, yeah, you do have a Gatling gun as your primary ranged weapon. When I tested this weapon out, it felt like it was a lot better at stunning. But I think using it in live matches where, you know, you're fighting against enemy players who are capable of moving around and whatnot, I feel like you're not really going to get as much of that stagger accumulation as you normally would. And other than that, damage on it is alright for the most part. You are a raid unit, so against generals, which are primarily what you're going to be facing most of the time, you're going to be doing less damage to them. But otherwise, yeah, it's a pretty alright Gatling to have. A lot of what you'd expect for a weapon of its type. You have a Beam Saber as your main melee weapon, and this does come with a new downswing. I believe it's a new downswing, at least. That is like a double swing. And you saw me use it, I think, a few times earlier already, and in the testing video as well. I did make a point to really bring it up and talk about it, because I did find it to be fairly interesting, especially with how, in some circumstances, you are able to land both hits of the downswing if you down a target and follow up just quick enough. It really feels like it might just depend on what suit you're facing against, but there's been times where I've been able to hit it twice, so very varying with that downswing there. It still might be safer to just try to go for a neutral, because you will do more damage with that than if you just hit one of the downswings, so a little something to keep in mind there. But other than that, yeah, pretty good melee. Especially for this suit as well, since this really isn't built necessarily as a melee suit, being a Heavy Gundam variant. But against supports, you can still do some decent damage, and again, the downswing as well, also really good for what it is. You have some head-mounted Vulcans, or I think they don't even call it head-mounted Vulcans, you just have the head Vulcan pair, and these are, last I checked, these do have some decent stun accumulation behind them. So really nice weapon there, but really just a lot of, again, what you expect for a Vulcan system to have. You do have incendiary missiles instead of the regular missiles that the normal Heavy Gundam comes with. And you can just use these to, you know, damage an enemy, and they will take 500 ticks of damage 5 times for as long as the flame duration effect lasts. And another thing I forgot about this base match here is that we do have an all-ray team here. But moving back to the suit here, you do have the shoulder beam cannon there. This is a really nice beam cannon because you can charge it while moving. And you have two forms of fire. You have a charge shot, which is a single fire instant stun, and then you have the regular fire, which fires 2 rounds. And if both rounds hit, you will get a stun that way. So a really nice stunning tool there. You do have to stop to fire it still. You can't fire it while moving or anything like that. So that is something to take into consideration. So really be careful where you're using this so you don't end up being a sitting target. But if you don't want to use that, you do also have an instant stunning beam rifle as a sub-weapon. Pretty similar to like the Gym 2 styled beam rifle where you fire it, you get your stun, and it takes up a pretty decent amount of your heat gauge. So you're going to have to wait for that to cool down before you fire it again, or you will overheat the rifle. You actually have a pair of funnels with this suit. And these kind of operate on the same basis that the Kshatriya funnels do, where they will go in a line and they will fire a continuous beam. What's interesting about this pair, though, is that usually when you lock onto a target, the funnels will move to the left side of whatever target you are aiming at. So that is something I found very interesting with this one's pattern. I don't think that's something the Kshatriyas does. I think the Kshatriya funnels just go in front of it. And usually they'll just do their continuous beam. You also have only 3 funnels with this suit, so the beam is not going to be able to cover as much as the Kshatriyas are. You will have some spaces in between, so that is something to consider there. And then I believe the final weapon you have here is going to be not really a weapon, but more like a tool. You're going to have that shield on the left arm there. Yeah, pretty good sized shield. It's going to be a nice defensive option, especially being a raid at 600. Having a little extra defense works in this suit's favor. And you also have the shield break mastery skill, so if your shield breaks, you won't get stunned, so another benefit there. And yeah, that's everything I believe for the equipment this suit has. Another real pro to using this is that you do have you have your own, I think it's its own version of the biosensor. It's not necessarily the regular version, and there's a biosensor popping off right there. But yeah, it does kind of do its own thing. I don't believe I remember the full specifics for what this version of the biosensor does. It does look like it increases your attack and defense though, looking at the corner there. And I believe it is supposed to help. It could possibly help with the funnels as well. And another thing that also comes with this suit that I don't really get to showcase here because there's really never an opportunity where this comes up. But if you get an enemy down to 30% HP and you hit them with a tackle, you do a heavy stun to them instead. And hey, real quick, gonna look at the end stats here. Got top in individual, first place overall with 8 kills and 1 loss, not too shabby there. So yeah, that's going to be that first match there. And now we're going to move on to the second match. Again, this is going to be a ground match. This is going to be on colony drop area. And right now I'm just trying to go around the corner here, see if I can spot the enemy. And try to stick with my team here. I'm going to be sticking with this Angelo Garib Zulu that is going to be running the scatter beam there. And there's the enemy team on our side of the map now, which really I played a bunch of matches on this map using the suits, and this is typically how most of them just kind of played out. We would just end up on the enemy team side, so yeah, pretty standard colony drop area gameplay here. But, yeah, other than that, yeah, again, I've been really liking the suit a lot more than when I started. And hey, a little over 4,000 damage to the enemy Zissa there. Yeah, definitely pay attention to the times I do get to this Zissa here, because that's going to be when I am doing the most damage. Another thing I forgot to mention as well regarding the funnels is that they are really good with pairing with your other stun accumulation weapons, because they do build up accumulation stun fairly well if you are able to lock an enemy target in it. So that is something else to consider when using your weapons. And I think that's just really the big strength with the suit overall, is that it does seem like it's really meant to gain accumulation stuns than just necessarily instant stuns. You do have weapons like the beam cannon when charged and that sub beam rifle if you want to like have some instant stun opportunity, but for the most part everything the suit has is really centered around accumulation. I can even say that for the missiles as well. The incendiary missiles also have a pretty decent accumulation paired with them, so it's something else you can use when it comes to just trying to get as many stuns as possible. And hey, was able to catch that Zissa before they were able to escape. There is a Hayakushiki there, which looks like I'm going to be able to finish him off with the beam rifle. And now when I want to focus on this S Gundam here, I believe the reason I kept this match in particular compared to some of the other matches I've gotten is that I believe I get a lot of counters in this match. Yeah, not sure why my counter game was so on point doing this, but yeah, I think I just managed to get a few counters, especially on the S Gundams here, because the S Gundams, depending on what weapon they are using, do have a predictable melee pattern, especially when it comes to the downswings. So you have enough time, you can easily prepare to catch one of them. Another thing I use to my advantage here is going to be the biosensor. You do get a double tackle when using the biosensor, so it is easy to catch an enemy off guard if they're not aware. Just right here, use my tackle, and while this S Gundam was going for a downswing, I was able to do my counter on him, do my tackle with whatever thrusters I had left, and yeah, finish him off here. And speaking of finishing off, there's going to be a Garadoga Kai. Gonna finish him off with my Gatling gun there. And now I'm gonna see if I can try to regroup with my team here. Looks like they are getting closer to the enemy base. And here's going to be the Zissa. Unfortunately, I did miss my round with the beam cannon there, but I am going to get a downswing off on that Zissa. And there we go again, get another counter off on this S Gundam. I don't believe that's the same one that I countered earlier, but as you can see, as I mentioned earlier, you're still able to do some pretty decent melee damage using the suit. And there we go, get another counter in. And yeah, it looks like almost 4,000 damage for a counter, which is really, really nice damage, especially against another raid like the S Gundam. Yeah, seems like some good damage for this suit here. And unfortunately, I am going to get finished off by the Garadoga Kai there. But our team is holding a pretty steady lead at the moment, so it really shouldn't be too much to worry about. Just a few seconds to spawn in, and I'm just going to try to see if I can rejoin my team. Looks like our first two members are getting into the yellow there, but luckily me and number 5 have spawned back in, and I'm going to try to see if I can take a position on the hill here, and let's see. Didn't get an assist or anything on that Hayakushiki, unfortunately, and am going to get downswung by the S Gundam, which looks like they are going to be able to finish off our support, but at least I'm right here, and I'm going to see if I can try to at least deal with them here. Or at least try to push them back, which looks like they might be trying to fall back now. I'm doing some steady damage with the Gatling, trying to hit them with the Incinerary so I can do a little more extra damage there. And looks like there might be been some lag, not sure there, unless the S Gundam was just moving really fast and just with all the smoke around was making it a bit harder to see. Looks like my legs are broken though. That is not a good situation to be in. So I am going to at least try to finish him off, but looks like I'm going to have to eject from my suit instead. And I'm going to try to retreat into my base, just in case an enemy does try to leave this suit and try to do a bomb plant. I'll be here and ready for them. But luckily it does look like our team is doing a decent job trying to clear out any enemies that are remaining. It is currently a 3 versus 2 here, though Angelo Garazulu is pretty low on health, and there are 3 raids running around this match, so this really isn't a good matchup for them in particular. But luckily I was able to stop the Hayakushiki for a bit with a round from my rocket launcher, so I'm going to quickly hop back into my suit here and see what I can do to help. Looks like the Hayakushiki is getting to under half health. And support fire is coming down, which is going to do a number to us, but it did get the Hyakushiki low enough to be finished off, so that was a pretty nice opportunity there. Looks like the S Gundam did run out of thrusters there, and there is the Gyaradoga Kai. Trying to make sure I didn't confuse it with a Gyara-Zulu here, since we do have that Angela 1, but nope, that is a Gyaradoga Kai from the interesting, unique head shape it has. And looks like they might still be alive, so I'm going to start moving back over here. I'm just kind of jumping from side to side now, just trying to see where I can start doing some damage, maybe trying to help pick off some of the remaining enemies. And I'm going to try to get back on my high position here, or at least I was till support fire was about to come down. I believe it is going to be near that position, so it would be a smarter choice for me to start moving instead. Looks like this might be one of the S Gundams, so I'm going to try to move in, but unfortunately it looks like another unit is coming in. One of those might actually be, looks like one of those might actually be the Hyakushiki. Actually, nope, that is going to be the Zissa, which is why that yellow beam that hit me did not stun me at all, because, well, Zissa beam rifle does not stun, so definitely good for me. I would rather just at least take the damage instead of getting stunned. And did try to inject my suit one last time just to make sure the enemy team wouldn't get the extra 25 points. But unfortunately, this Zissa is about to run into me there. And what is going to be at the last few seconds. And it's going to be timeout, mission over. And let's see how we did here with the second match here in the Heavy Gundam I.O. And it doesn't look like I got anywhere on the board. Looks like Angsha was able to fill most of those spots. But first place overall with 6 kills and 3 loss. Not too bad for this ground match here. And yeah, that's going to be the end of the 2 videos that I have there. Also, this is when I was able to drop down to penalty level 1. Yeah, that's been a big hassle for a lot of this. Been in penalty level 2 for a while, so that kind of threw a wrench into me trying to get these videos out. I would have probably had some of these out a lot sooner if I was actually able to play the suits, but in the end, the delay kind of worked out, because I feel like maybe if I didn't get that delay, I probably would have made a video a lot early, and I wouldn't have had these better matches that kind of changed my opinion on the suit, so maybe it was a good thing in its own twisted way, I guess, but yeah, that's going to be the end of this video here. Comment down below what you think about the Heavy Gundam I.O. Remember to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. And with that, I will see you all in the next one. Later.